The envelope was tucked right behind our car insurance card. I wasn't even looking for it. 3 hotel receipts. Same hotel. Different months. Different room numbers. I sat in that car for 22 minutes and didn't make a single sound. Because something in me, something I'd been ignoring for 2 years, already knew. And in that moment, I made a decision that would change everything. Not just about him. About me. About the house. About every single thing I had quietly built while he was busy lying. I was 51 years old, and I had options he didn't even know existed. This is the story of what I did, step by step, starting that same afternoon. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Marcus and I met when I was 29 years old. He was charming in that quiet way, not loud about it. He didn't need to be. We got married 2 years later in a small church in Georgia, 53 people in the pews, and my grandmother in the front row wearing her good hat. For the first several years, it was good. Not perfect, no marriage is, but good. We bought our home in Charlotte when I was 34. 4 bedrooms. A backyard that needed work. A mortgage that felt terrifying and exciting at the same time. I worked as a healthcare administrator. Marcus ran his own logistics company. Between the two of us, we built something real. We raised 2 kids in that house. Hosted Thanksgivings. Argued about paint colors. Fixed the roof twice. From the outside, we looked like exactly what we were trying to be. But somewhere around year 7, something shifted. He started working later. Traveling more. His phone, which used to sit face up on the counter, started going everywhere with him. Even to the bathroom. I noticed. Of course I noticed. But I told myself what a lot of women tell themselves when they're not ready for the answer. He's just stressed. Business is hard. This is just a season. I believed that for 2 years. Until a Tuesday afternoon in October changed everything. That night, after Marcus fell asleep, I went to my home office and I closed the door. The first thing I did was take out a notebook, a plain one, nothing special, and I wrote 3 words at the top of the first page. What do I have? Not what did he do? Not how could he? I already knew the answers to those questions. What I needed to know was, what is mine? I spent 3 hours going through everything. Our joint accounts, the mortgage documents, the investment accounts I had set up 6 years ago that Marcus always waved off as your little project, the retirement fund I had been quietly maxing out since I was 38. And here's what I found out that night, what I want every woman watching this to hear clearly. I had more than I realized. The next morning, while Marcus left for work, I made 2 phone calls. The first was to a family law attorney, a woman a colleague had recommended to me years ago at a conference. I had kept her card. I don't know why. Maybe I always knew. The second call was to my oldest sister, Renee. Not to cry, not to vent, to tell her, I need you to be available for the next few weeks. I'm about to make some moves. She didn't ask questions. She just said, I'm here. That same afternoon, I met with the attorney. And what she told me in that first meeting changed how I saw everything. My attorney's name was Patricia. She was 61 years old, sharp as a blade, and she had seen everything. The first thing she said to me was, don't change anything yet. Don't move money. Don't confront him. Don't let him know you know. Your greatest advantage right now, she said, is that he thinks you don't know. So that's what I did. I kept the routine. I kept the dinners. I kept the smile. And quietly, carefully, I began to protect myself. Patricia helped me understand what I was entitled to after 9 years of marriage in North Carolina. The house we had built equity in together. The retirement accounts. The business valuation, because yes, a spouse's business built during a marriage can be considered a marital asset. I want you to write that down if you're watching this and you're in a similar situation. A business built during a marriage can be considered a marital asset. Over the next 6 weeks, I did the following. And I want to be very specific because I wish someone had told me this. 1. I opened a personal checking account at a different bank, just in my name, and began directing a portion of my direct deposit there. Legal. Documented. Clean. 2. I made copies of every financial document in that house. Tax returns. Mortgage statements. Business records Marcus kept in his office. Everything. 3. I stopped making extra payments on the mortgage. Patricia advised me to hold that cash instead. 4. I documented everything. Dates, receipts, screenshots of phone records where the number appeared over and over. 5. I said nothing to Marcus. Not one word. For 6 weeks, I was the same woman he had always underestimated. And then, I was ready. I chose a Sunday. The kids were with my mother. The house was clean. I had made coffee. I sat across from Marcus at the kitchen table, and I slid a single piece of paper toward him. It was a letter from Patricia's office. He looked at it, looked up at me, looked back down, and I watched 9 years of secrets cross his face all at once. He started with denial. Then he moved to explanations. Then, and this is the part I'll never forget, he asked me, "Where are you going to go?" Like the house was already his. Like I was already the one leaving. I picked up my coffee cup, took a slow sip, and said, "That's actually something we need to discuss. Because according to my attorney, I'm not the one who has to go anywhere." The look on his face in that moment. I had spent 2 years feeling small in that marriage. I never felt small again after that morning. The process wasn't easy. Divorce never is. There were hard days and harder nights. There were moments I questioned myself. But I had done the work. I had the documents. I had Patricia. And I had myself, which, it turns out, was the most important thing I had all along. That was 3 years ago. I still live in the house in Charlotte. I painted the living room a color Marcus always said was too bold. It's the first thing people comment on when they walk in. My kids are good. They're resilient. The way children are when they watch their mother choose herself without falling apart. My retirement account has grown. My name is the only name on the deed. And that little project he always dismissed? Let's just say I'm very glad I never stopped contributing to it. I'm not telling you this story to celebrate a divorce. There is nothing celebratory about the end of a marriage you built with your own hands. I'm telling you this because I want you to know something, especially if you are a woman somewhere in the middle of a life that doesn't feel like yours anymore. You are not starting over. You are starting from everything you already know. 51 years old. And the best chapters of my life were still ahead. They still are. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below. I read every single one. And if you know a woman who needs to hear this today, share this video with her. You might not know how much she needs it. Next week, I'm sharing what happened 6 months later when Marcus came back and what I said to him. You do not want to miss that one. Until then, take care of yourself. You've earned it.